Hello! I am going to do a Poland into space run with some winged hussars along the way. The plan is to culture shift to Prussian, join the Empire, form the Commonwealth, then get the winged hussars achievement by getting aristocratic and quality ideas, as well as military tech like 30 or something, maybe 20, 22, and then tag shift to Prussia for the Prussian ideas, because by that point cavalry is crap anyway. And then go from there. I plan to become emperor. I plan to expand east through Crimea and Russia, but all of those plans could change. In order to get Poland into space, I think you need a lot of tech cost reductions because the cost of each tech goes up. Hard difficulty, save game, Poland hard streamed. Go. So by the time you're getting your last tech, it costs like 1,000 instead of 600. So if your tech cost is too high, you just can't get the final techs. I'm going to westernize as early as I possibly can. And early westernization means that I should be 3,000 monarch points behind when westernization completes. Probably more like 3,500 or 4,000 behind. Which means that I can't afford to take a military idea until I've been done with westernization for like 15 years. So my third idea will be a military idea, which means my first two ideas need to be either admin or diplomatic. The ideas that I absolutely need are innovative, administrative, diplomatic, and aristocratic, because total, taking those four ideas will give you 15% off tech. And then optional ideas are 10% off. Ideas from humanist, I probably won't take that. Religious, which allows me to have permanent casus belli against anyone in the world as long as I convert to the reformed religion, which I probably will do. Trade makes me not ridiculously broke. I really love trade and I would love to take it, but I'm not sure if I can get all the other ideas I need and trade. Quality and aristocratic. I already said aristocratic, but quality is required for the achievement. And then defensive is great for army tradition, but I probably won't be able to take it. And quantity is awesome because it reduces the monarch point cost of buildings from 10 to 8, which is, super sexy. Influence is also a great idea because it lets you diplomatically vassalize people more easily and be more successful as an emperor. But I probably won't take that either just because there's not enough idea slots to take everything I want. So my first idea will be either religious or diplomatic or innovative. Probably religious. And that's the plan, man. So I'm going to set my focus on diplomacy. And then hire the cheapest advisor I can of every type. Stability cost, because I have to up my stability at least twice early on. Reputation, because why not? And morale, because why not? I'm also going to sack my cavalry early. It's kind of funny. Poland is like a cavalry-only nation. Their job is to cavalry. But cavalry are too expensive, and I'm not taking the trade idea early on, so I can't afford to be running cavalry in the early game. Boom, which means that I won't be very good at fighting, but as soon as I get a PU over Lithuania, I won't need to fight. I'll be Batman as far as Batmanitudinousness goes. I also wanted to mention that you'll notice that all the font is different. That's from the Arumba 1.7 mod that you can get from Arumba.tv. Arumba is a Twitch streamer of EU4. And he's a cool dude, man. That's his name, is Cool Dude Man. I don't usually watch streams of any kind, but I read Reddit, and the people on Reddit talk about the things that he says in his streams, and I find them to be useful. So I indirectly benefit from his streaming. Austria, okay. So my plan is to stick to these four relationships for a very long time until I can ally France, and then I'll be at my 5th relationship. But at the same time, I should be annexing these two vassals, so it should be okay. I'm going to rival Teutonic Order and Livonian Order, and it's tempting to rival Hungary because they're super weak and they're right next to me, and I want Pozoni and Zeps from them. But you can ally them pretty easily. I don't need another ally, though. It's also tempting to rival the Ottomans because I plan on expanding into Crimea, but I don't know if I can take the Ottomans in a fight. Unless Austria comes in, and I don't know if Austria will come in. Hungary is a much safer rival. They're crap, so they can't do anything about it. When you rival someone, you're committing to be not their friend for a very long time. Okay. So we need to improve relations with Austria all the way up to 200 in order to join the empire, and we need to improve relations with our vassals up to 150 or so in order to integrate them. And those are our first steps. So last time I took one province from the Teutonic Order, and then I waited 10 years, or 5 years, and then I took another province from the Teutonic Order, and that worked pretty well. I'm tempted to do that again, but now that I know that it requires 2 provinces from the Teutonic Order in order to culture shift to Prussian, I might just take 2 right up front. You can't get Danzig and Ostprussia at once unless you can have a claim on both. I don't know if I can claim... I know I can claim Danzig, which I will do because I'm taking Danzig in the first war no matter what. But I don't think I can claim Ostprussia because I don't share a border with it, even through a vassal, only through the PU. It would be nice if Lithuania would claim Ostprussia. That would be glorious. There would be glory to be had through that. I'm not funding my army. Once I have 100 of each of these, then actually right now I can get the PU over Lithuania. It's important to get it early because if you get pulled into a war, then it could take forever. And if the king of Lithuania dies, you can't do it, I don't think. Because once a king gets elected to your country, then you become an elective monarchy, and you can't form a PU over Lithuania if you're an elected monarchy. I know this because in one attempt as Poland, I royal married Austria and no one else early on to get their dynasty, and then through war I PU'd Austria as my first step in the game, using help from France and Lithuania. And it was easy. I got a PU over Austria nice and easy. But the problem was that once you get a king that way, you can't use the event to PU Lithuania. So I'm like, I'd rather have a PU over Lithuania anyway because they directly share a border with me, and I can easily ally Austria or Lithuania. I don't know. So I started over. It just seems like forming the Commonwealth is a bunch of free territory that costs no monarch points or anything. So not doing that is just a waste. So I'm fabricating claims on Danzig. I should fabricate claims on Danzig and Ermland, the land of Erm, while also building enough infantry to satisfy my build an army quest to give me some army tradition, the tradition of my army. The tradition of our army is strong. I wish I had water. So I don't drink coffee because it tastes like balls, but I have coffee, and that's what I'm going to drink because it's here. Oh my god, coffee is so gross. How do people drink this stuff? It's an acquired taste is how. So I read once upon a time something that probably everyone in the world already knows. But I thought it was interesting when I read it. I like reading things that I already know. Did I tell you that yet? Okay, here we go. PU, Lithuania. Improve our prestige is a fun quest. I'll just take that. I'll wait for the fabrication to finish before declaring war. Okay, so the thing that I read long ago, back when men were men and turtles were turtles, was that you know how humans can acquire a taste for alcohol or coffee or tea or jalapeno peppers or things that at first taste bad? Like if you give any of those things to a child, they'll be like, this is gross, why did you give me this, right? But adults can enjoy them. I've always known that. Everyone's always known that. It's called an acquired taste. But what I didn't know is that that's somewhat at least unique to humans. So I thought that was interesting. Unique to humans. The words unique to humans are interesting words. Alright, so now we have a claim on the Teutonic Order. I'm going to fight Hungary, Livonian Order. I'm going to fight all 3 of my rivals at once. How cool is that? But first I should embargo all 3 of my rivals because that gives me one, whatever it's called, power projection. Should also move my dudes. One can collect from here, and the other can collect from here. And cacao is pointless. It looks like early on, before I sell my provinces and before anyone else gets any influence in the note, I actually am making some decent money from cacao, so whatever. So now let's take Danzig. Fight! Fight for the Danzig! I should fund my army as well. And I should put my army somewhere where it's not going to have to fight, because I want my manpower to stay maxed all game long. I just want to always have max manpower. Be the man of steel and the man of max manpower steel. So in this war, I can get a separate peace with Hungary and Livonia. That means I could theoretically take Zeps and Danzig and Ostprussia. Well, I think with a claim on Danzig, I can get Ostprussia, actually. But I think that'd give me an AE of 40 or something, and I don't want an AE of 40. So let's not do that. I just want to check to make sure I could do that, though. Well, there's no way to check until you've sieged up that crap. Alright, so in this war, my plan is to just get Danzig, nothing else. By walking through friendly territory instead of enemy territory, I avoid the nonsense attrition. There was a tip posted on Reddit recently that if you walk through a province and then cancel the walk when you're there, then you won't take attrition. It's not true, I've tested it, but it must have been true at some point in the past for the tip to have been posted. So I find it interesting that I never knew that until it was too late. So Danzig is probably 60 war score required, but I suspect that Austria will get me that war score by beating up other people, so it should be okay. Uh-oh, I'm gonna have to actually fight for my right to party. Oh my gosh! Kazimierz Jegelen is terrible. He's got one siege and nothing else. I'm gonna fake into Danzig to try to get Hungary to fight Austria and Lithuania instead of me. Because I just don't want to fight this war. They see their chance to fight my crappy king. I'm gonna get rid of him. Better no general than a 0-0 general. Hopefully these guys will come to the rescue, but I'm gonna bide my time until they get here anyway. It should cost me like 6,000 manpower. It's a pain in the butt, but whatever. I need my Danzigs. Yo. Alright, so we'll leave these two guys in Danzig, and those guys can go to Poznan. Poznan! We will live in Poznan until the time is right. Alright, and we need to improve relations with these dudes. So I don't actually want to... you know what? I was just saying I only want to take Danzig. I'm from Poland, Podlasie. Oh, hi Podlasie. Welcome to not Podlasieville. The internet. I just realized I have to take 2 provinces in order to form culture shift to Prussian. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you just need 1 stability. I don't know. It's not worth the risk. I'm going to take 2 provinces. So it looks like it's possible that my side has the siege over there, but I'm not really sure. And Nuremberg is... are they Prussian? Is Nuremberg Prussian? No, it's Saxon. So I need Ermland, the land of Erm, or Memel, the land of Mem, or Ostprussia, but I don't think I can get Ostprussia because it's too high base tax. It's 8 base tax. I want Ostprussia, but not immediately. So I think I'm just going to go for Memel. And I might say manpower be damned and just run up there, but I gotta avoid dying first. It's annoying that Austria doesn't just wipe everyone's armies. You know they have enough troops to do it. Oh wait, let's leave one of these guys in here. And then move everyone else to Poznan. Because you reinforce more quickly in your own territory, so. Oop. It's gonna kill them in Nuremberg, even though I don't have a general. Wipe your face. Alright, we'll leave them here. We're sieging Nuremberg just for the war score, not for anything useful. So I'd like to carpet siege now, but I still see armies walking around and I'm a little worried about them. Because they have generals. A 2-star general, and I have a no-star non-general. 4-4-4 general. That's pretty scary. When I don't have any general at all. So I want a separate white piece with Livonian Order as soon as I can get it, because that's who I'm going to attack next time. After I take Danzig, I'm going to fabricate a claim on Kurland and attack Livonia, and they should pull Teutonic Order back into a war with me. That way I can get like a 15-year truce with Teutons and a 5-year truce with Livonia, and then after 5 years I can attack Livonia. This come out as Polish? Nice! Alright, so now we might be done. Almost. No! Danzig is super important to me. Are you sad that the Colbert Report is going away? I'm sad. Poor Colbert Report. Ever so funny, ever so gone. Alright. Battle ended. So this window right here, you're supposed to be able to set certain nations as being interesting, and then anytime that nation goes to war, it'll pop up over there. So like we can right click on a Crimean army right here and set them to a nation of interest. I don't know, it's not seeming to work. But I've never found it useful. Like whenever I set a nation to be a nation of interest, it still doesn't tell me anything. Maybe we'll try changing the message settings and see if we can get that to work, because I'd really like it to pop up something when you are affected by a triggered modifier. Display an icon. A nation declares war upon you. It should pop up. Nation. Interesting. Nations join wars with. When one nation declares war on another nation, display a pop-up. I don't think that's working. We collect a war tax. Declare war upon another nation. When other people declare war to me. When our colony declares war, you should tell us, certainly. Anyway. I want to be notified when Crimea goes to war is my point, so that I can attack them. Because Crimea is allied with the Ottomans always. But if all their troops are way off in the east, I might be able to full siege them before anything useful can be done from their end. So I might need to wait for Austria to get a separate peace, because they might get really angry if I peace out without giving them stuff that they have claims on. And they tend to have at least a couple claims on some stuff. I'm going to go to Podlasie. Hey! You just said Podlasie. That's good times. I'm going to go station my troops in your hometown, man. It's a good time. No! Alright, now we can check the... Hey, Simon. We can check the cost of ending the war for what we want, which is Danzig and Ostprussia. I fabricated a claim on Ostprussia this time, so hopefully I can afford to end the war for 100 war score and get both of those. Last time was 101, but with a claim, I think that reduces the war score. Goal in this campaign... There are 4 achievements I got my eye on. The most important with is Poland into space. If I don't get that one, then I have to play an entire from beginning to end campaign as Poland again. So that's the most important one. Second most important one is Winged Hussars, because, you know, it's easy to get as Poland. Then the ones that I'm just considering that I might not do are Trade Hegemony and Master of India, because it's easy as Poland to go east, since you can't really go west. I also plan to become emperor, and I plan to unite the empire, but honestly, I will fail at that. So, you know. It's easy to become emperor. What's really hard is getting any imperial authority at all when you're Poland, because you need to defend the nation against France, which, no. France is too powerful, and ever since, like, 1.6. And the reason they're more powerful is just because they get allies. They ally Venice, Tuscany, Castile, Aragon, Portugal, England. In my last game, France had 3 great power allies and me. So 4 great power allies. Like, I might be able to take France by themselves, but there's no way I'm going to fight all of the great powers in the entire world. So, France, scary. France, scary. It's like fire bad, but France, scary. Okay. What's his face? Von What's his Facington? Scornfist was saying his rule of thumb is that if you can't kill France before Admintech 10, then you can't kill France, because that's, you know, by then they're overpowered. In the early game, they don't actually have their ideas that give them extra manpower and morale and stuff. So they're really not that hard to beat up early. Also, they haven't united the French Empire. Like, right now, they're kind of a world power. Armies, force limits. France is like 4th. They're behind Burgundy. They're way behind Austria, and they're even behind England, you know? But by Admintech 10, they just are always in first place. Not necessarily first place in force limits, but they're first place in ability to win wars and not be dead. The not be dead is a strong indicator of who will not be dead. Alright, so we need to dump all our legitimacy into this guy as early as possible to discourage other people from dumping their diplomacy into trying to build up their own heir. I don't know why. I'm an elective monarchy. I think Poland's the only elective monarchy. Basically, people can spend time on their diplomats in order to increase the claim strength of their heir, right? So right now, I've got 30 claim strength, and everyone else has 1 or 0. Austria has 1. If they throw a diplomat in long enough, then they can build the claim strength of their heir up higher than my heir, and then I'll have an Austrian king, which gives them monarch points. 2 years full monarch contribution of the new king of Poland, who's an Austrian king. And it gives us plus 100 relations, but then as soon as the next election, they get a minus 200 relations, and it decays at a rate of 1 per year, which means that you basically can't be their friend anymore, which is super stupid. Sorry, I don't know why I formed those guys. Okay, let's see how much it costs. Oh, still can't check, and why bother until I have 100% war score, right? I want a white peace with Hungary and a white peace with Livonia before I peace out with the Teutonic Order. And I also kind of want Austria to take a separate peace, so that they don't get mad at me for ending the war. So the war looks almost done, but it's not quite. Still got other stuff to do. Anyway, so I really don't like the elective monarchy government type. I think it's a stupid idea. Or it's not a stupid idea. It's a good idea with a stupid implementation. That's what I mean. So I should be able to siege up all of Livonia and get a white peace. Livonia is tricksy because it's in a great spot. It's got lots of trade power in the Baltic Node. It's got lots of sea provinces that you can get naval force limits from, and it shares a border with Novgorod early on and Russia later on, so it puts you in a great position to fully annex Livonia, and you can fully annex it in the first war with just 100 war score. It's like done, fully annexed. Problem is that on hard difficulty, fully annexing Livonia, each province gives you 16 AE with everyone, right? And so I get 16 AE for taking Danzig, which is a 12 base tax province, and I also get 16 AE for taking Ossel, which is a 1 base tax province. So on hard difficulty, it just never makes sense to annex anything that has a base tax lower than 8. Unless it's like a completely different culture or religious group or something. So you just can't take the Livonian territory by force without feeling like an idiot, because you're getting all this AE for basically nothing. So the Livonian Order will tend to survive for a long time. It's fun to play as Sunni. Alright, so let's see if I can now get white peace over here. I should be able to. Yep. White peace. And then we're going to go over here and then go siege up Hungary. Whoa! Oh, I stopped sieging in before they had accepted the peace, and now they won't accept the peace. That's lame. Because one of the things that makes them accept the peace is the fact that you've sieged up their provinces. Let's try this again. Give me white peace. Wait 1 day, and then move your troops away. Ugh. Get access through Lithuania, access Golden Horde, convert to Sunni, become Caliphate. Okay, what? So you play as the Pope and do that? I guess, like, chat is broken for me. Okay, there we go. Let me read some of this. They have to fix the French ability to get alliances. France tends to get coalitions more than alliances. France should get coalitions more than alliances, I agree, but they don't. Although in real life, everyone was anxious. I mean, it makes sense for people to be anxious to ally France because they're quite strong and they're in a good position. And if Castile doesn't ally France, Castile dies. So it makes sense the way the alliances work. It's just that that makes France overpowered. And I don't think it's a bad thing that France is overpowered. I just think it's important to note and play around. All right, let's see if we can get a white piece over here. Yes, we can. All right, and now we can get our 2 provinces. Danzig and Ostprussia would be awesome. Oh, so glorious! So glorious! Danzig and Ostprussia. Let's cut their ties to Magdeburg, because seriously, what the heck? Why are you allied to a 1-province minor? Okay, we gained a stability, we gained some prestige, we can reincorporate Muscovy, we can integrate Ostprussia. Obviously, I'm going to do this anyway, so I might as well take the quest for it. I got some war exhaustion. Don't care. Alright. So, I'm going to wait until Danzig is fully cored. I'm going to wait until I have 200 relations with both of my vassals and 200 relations with Austria before I do anything. Because often I sell my provinces early and then I can't actually annex them back for a long time, and that's a pain in the butt. So let's just take it slow and improve relations with some people. So AE, again, last time I took 1 province at a time and I got like 10 AE. This time I took 2 provinces and I got 43. So you can see how there's quite a bit of difference between 1 province and 2. Also, it's possible that last time I was on normal difficulty, even though I checked and it said hard. I think you're supposed to get more than 12 AE per province on hard difficulty. I think the game client was just bugged last time. Lollard heretics in the capital. And then Lollard heretics in the capital. Why do I have such revolt risk? War exhaustion, overextension, legitimacy, disorder. Well, Lithuania has some problems too, so we'll just let the rebels win. Go rebels, you're awesome. We love you. Again, I want to keep my manpower as high as possible this playthrough. I'm not going to make any cavalry or artillery until probably military tech 10 or 16 or something. Because the ability to quickly siege someone is more important than the ability to win a fight with them when you have a huge dog, as they say, a huge PU over someone who's very strong. Because you can just let them win all the fights while you siege stuff up. I think that works a lot better. Alright, Krakow. You're letting me down here, buddy. Let's go to 5x speed. with +2 stability, I still have a massive revolt risk. And this is why I'm going religious as my first idea, man. In fact, I'm going to... It'll reduce revolt risk if I sell some provinces to this guy early. And I don't think it'll reduce my income at all because I'm not getting anything from those provinces since they're not the right religion. It's actually kind of tempting to not annex Moldavia at all. Just leave them. I mean, usually I annex Moldavia and Muscovy at the same time so that I won't have to spend extra time improving relations with Moldavia after whatever. But then I have all these Orthodox provinces forever, and they increase the cost of stability, which is costing me admin points. And if I'm going for Poland into space, I need as many admin points as I can get. So I think I'm actually just going to not... I'm not going to integrate Moldavia until I have religious idea group number 2 or whatever. The one that makes it so I can actually convert provinces. Let's go over there, see if my new king is capable of fighting. He's got at least... He's terrible at fighting, but you know. So let's talk about shock versus fire. Right? Because everyone knows that shock generals are better than fire generals in the early game, but why, right? Why? And the answer is that in the early game you do 0.25, so you do a quarter damage with your infantry during the fire phase, and 0 damage with your cavalry, and 0 damage with artillery, which doesn't even exist. You do half damage in the shock phase with your infantry, and full damage in the shock phase with your cavalry. So basically, if you have an infantry that is 0 pips, if it has 0 shock and 0 fire, and a cavalry that's 0, and you have a ratio of 50% infantry versus cavalry, then your whole army is going to do, like, and then assume base casualty, actually, you don't have to assume it, base casualties is actually 40, right? So let's pretend base casualties was 100. During the fire phase, your infantry will do 25 damage each. So say you have 10 infantry and 10 cavalry. You're going to do a total of 25 casualties, right? During the fire phase. So 25 casualties in the fire phase. In the shock phase, you're going to do 50 casualties from your infantry and then 100 more from your cavalry. So 150. 25, 150. So the shock phase is where all the damage gets done in the early game. That's like 6 times more damage. You take 6 times more damage in the early game from shock than you do from fire. So having a general who's got 2 fire pips is going to change that 25 casualties that I would have done in the fire phase is now going to be increased by 40% because each pip is plus 20%. So that's going to increase it to 25, maybe 30, 40, 42 or something. If this guy was 0-2 instead of 2-0, then during the shock phase, I would go from 125 casualties to 180. So I get an extra 80 casualties instead of an extra 13. So it's insanely more beneficial to have shock pips than fire pips in the early game. In fact, you should consider this general a 0-0 general. He doesn't help in the early game, right? And especially if your army is made entirely of infantry. Well, actually, that's not true. The more infantry and the less cavalry you have, the more important fire generals become. But you know, even infantry does double damage in the shock phase. So whatever. Point is, shock pips. So the most important pips on a specific unit, like you get to choose between offensive and defensive units. For infantry, the most important pip is defensive shock. It's not offensive shock or offensive fire or morale or defensive morale. It's defensive shock because cavalry is going to be doing 100 casualties during the shock phase, right? So if you get a defensive shock pip, you're going to reduce the casualties you take by 20. Whereas if you get an offensive shock pip, you're going to increase the damage that your infantry was going to do from 50 to 60. You're only going to gain 10 instead of losing 20. So defensive shock pips are the best pips. As far as cavalry, offensive shock pips are twice as good as defensive shock pips for cavalry. But anyway, That's how the world works, man. That's how the world works. Once upon a time, that pips and such. Alright, so we're done with Austria. We're done with Muscovy. I don't think we need to improve relations with Moldavia at all. So once we're done coring Danzig, we're gonna get this show on the road. I'm gonna sell all my stuff to Muscovy, and then we're going to culture shift, join the empire, and then annex Muscovy, and we'll just keep Moldavia as a vassal for a long time. But I gotta get rid of these darn rebels, man. Rebels in the early game are such a pain in my booty. My booty. Because they revolt with more units and better units and way better generals than me. So I can't fight them. So I'm just kind of following them around, cleaning up after them. Like, they want me to lose 50 prestige. I don't want to lose 50 prestige because then I would lose my PU over Lithuania. So I can't let them win, but I also can't kill them. So we gotta wait until Lithuania has enough troops to actually fight them, which won't be soon. Or you can wait until it's been 5 years and then go to war with Livonia. But regardless, oh, you know what we can do? I just thought of how to deal with this. We'll cheat. We'll sell this province to Muscovy. Oop, can't because it's under siege. Never mind. But I am going to begin the transition into Mr. Empire Prussia. So I'm 82% done coring that stuff, so by the time I'm done selling everything, it should be time. Isn't it insane that Ostprussia and Danzig was 101 war score with no claims, and once you claim it, it drops to 70? That just doesn't seem right. Like, to the extent that I feel like I must have been doing something wrong last game. Right-click that because I don't want to be reminded that I can upgrade a tech. I only want to upgrade tech when that says max, when the number turns green. Because again, if we're gonna get into space, we gotta be tricksy like hobbits. Tricksy hobbits. All right, Khaleesi, we are ready for your Prussian nonsense. And we can't let them siege up Danzig. But luckily they split into 2 groups, so I think we can take them now. With our terrible general. Yeah, we'll take them. Boom, what's up, rebels? Oh, they just revolted during the fight. That's always fun. Oh, come on, join me. Frickin' Moldavia was like, no, let's not fight. Yeah, fighting is for the weak. Well, lost a ton of manpower, but at least now I can do what I'm trying to do here. You can sell any cored province to any vassal, and vassals will go up to a religious disunity of like 25% or something. So if you have a Muslim vassal, you can sell them 2 Catholic provinces or something, but not indefinitely. Did you clean the living room? Yeah. Is Nora crying?
She's crying because the vacuum's on.
Well, you can't have a popsicle until she stops crying. Nora has to be happy because we love Nora. Whoop. Alright, good times. So now, culture shift is not an option yet. We still got 1 more province to sell. I can move my capital already though. Why can't I move it? Won't let me move my capital. Ah, you can't move your capital as long as there are any rebels anywhere in the country. Didn't know that, but you know, whatever. Conquer Warmia, improve relations with Lithuania. That's some easy prestige. This is some easy prestige. Warmia, where's Warmia? Warmia. There's no such thing as Warmia. War. There's no such thing as Warmia. Oh, Ermland. Apparently this is Warmia. I'm gonna wait until my AE with everyone drops to 0 before I fight again, I think. I might not. It seems like it's going down really slowly. We are losing 2.4 per year. We've only got 0 cardinals, and we've invested more in our cardinal than anyone else. Fail at Popington again. It's the problem with trying for a young guy, is that everyone's all gung-ho to get him. Once these rebels go away, we can join the Empire. Empire Strikes Back. I think Hungary might be allied to... Nope, they're not allied to anyone useful. They used to be, but they're not anymore. Can you get more than 3 points in Leader Siege? There is a policy that gives +1 point in Leader Siege, and the defensive idea gives +1 to Leader Siege. And you can definitely have 6 Siege. I've seen screenshots of it. I think that there is a max natural siege you can get on a general, and it might be 3, it might be 4. But I know that it's possible to get up to 6 with various ideas and policies and stuff. Let's sell that last province. Move our capital. You know what? We might not need to sell the province. Simply too large. Culture shift is not an option, so we do need to sell the province. Alright, culture shift. Pop up. Alright. Culture shift depression. Boost stability as much as we can. Join the Empire. Done. And then annex this guy. Alright. Improve relations with someone that we're already annexing. That seems a little silly. We can annex Moldavia. Currently we're getting 0.55 gold and 5 force limits from Moldavia. Total base tax of Moldavia is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 18. Which means that we would get 4 force limits, plus we get 5.5 force limits if we built temples on all of Moldavia. And they're already providing 5 troops, so I feel like it's not worth annexing them. As far as gold goes, they're giving us almost no gold, but if we annex them, they'd be the wrong religion, so we'd be getting, like, they're getting 30 gold a year and dumping it into troops, whereas we'd be getting like 5 gold a year. I think we're better off keeping Moldavia as a Moldavian thing. Is she happy? Is she drinking a bubba and everything?
Yep.
Okay, you can have a popsicle. Good work, buddy. Alright. So, let's improve relations with Lithuania. And now we're good. I like that Denmark joined a coalition. The last game, Denmark was desperate to ally me. In this game, they rivaled me. Punks. They do usually rival me. So I need Marienburg from the Teutonic Order, which means I need Ermland and Culm in order to get Marienburg in the future. Pomerania is in the coalition against me, but they're not too picky about it, so I should be able to get them out just by improving relations. I don't want to fight I don't want to fight Denmark, which means waiting 25 more AE to drop off. If I can get an AE reducing guy, that'd be great, but I can't. So I either start fighting Crimea and... Oh, you know what? Annexing Moldavia would allow me to fight Crimea. That's why I wanted to do it. But whatever. I'm gonna beat up Hungary because they're like hippopotamuses. They strike me as very hippopotamus-esque. They're hippopotamus-sassy. So we don't even have 0 manpower yet, so like, we shouldn't be too urgently trying to get into another war. My revolt risk in all of my territories is still quite high. Nationalism, negative stability. Oh, we need stability to...
You got a diaper.
She's got a poop?
Yeah.
So change it.
I don't know how to change babies.
Do you want... Okay, I'm going to watch you and you're